Goku is a powerful warrior, a bastion of strength, and a hero who has saved the world more than its inhabitants will ever know. With such great power, skill, and experience, it's not a stretch to imagine that Goku is the reigning champion of every martial arts tournament known to man, alien, or god. Or at the very least, it's not crazy to think that he's won a lot of champion titles in his years. However, this is not the case. Be it because he lost to a stronger opponent, happenstance, luck, interference, or his own idiocy, Goku has had quite a few tournament losses. From the World Martial Arts Tournament to inter-universal tournaments like the Tournament of Power. Let's look at all of those losses, shall we? #21st World Martial Arts Tournament. Going in chronological order, the very first time that Goku lost in a tournament is also the first time he competed. After stopping the threat of Emperor Pilaf and his gang, Goku decided he wanted to train under Master Roshi. Though it took some convincing, both he and Krillin eventually began learning from the great martial arts teacher. Through their training, Goku and Krillin became incredibly strong. In fact, once their training was done, Roshi believed they were ready to take on the World Martial Arts Tournament, entering them in the competition in one of the series' most significant sagas. During the tournament, Goku and Krillin cleaned up the competition, easily beating all the opponents that came their way, save for the mysterious Jackie Chun. In fact, Jackie Chun knocked Krillin out of the tournament and ended up winning the final match against Goku. As we all know, Jackie was actually Master Roshi, who disguised himself to give his students a power level to strive towards by beating them in the tournament. Though Goku gave him quite the fight, Jackie Chun ended up winning the final match. The fight serving as Goku's first tournament loss, but also the reason he continued to pursue martial arts and seek greater power. After the World Martial Arts Tournament saga came the Red Ribbon Army saga, which ultimately ended with Goku running off to train on his own in the wild. After 3 years, Goku returned to enter the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament, where he and the other Turtle School students, Krillin and Yamcha, faced off against Ten Shinhan and Chaozu of the Crane Hermit School. Once again, Goku blazed through pretty much every opponent he faced in the competition, having a bit more trouble against Krillin but ultimately making it to the finals of the tournament, where he faced off against Ten Shinhan. This match was one of the most exciting fights in the series at the time, pitting Goku against the might and skill of Tien, who had a series of interesting techniques that almost meant the end for Goku. And yet, Goku was able to overcome all of Tien's tricks and go blow for blow against his strength, with the final part of the match coming down to who landed on the ground last after a series of moves pushed them up into the sky before sending them careening back down. Unfortunately, due to a passing truck, Goku hit the ground first, making Tien the technical victor and marking Goku's second tournament defeat. That does it for the original Dragon Ball, since the next tournament Goku competed in was the first one he won, beating Piccolo Jr. for the championship title, so it's time to look at the tournament losses of Dragon Ball Z. The next time Goku took part in a martial arts competition wouldn't be until the Cell Games, the tournament that Cell created as a means of giving the Earth a fighting chance and as a means of testing his power against the likes of Goku and the other warriors of Earth. The rules of the Cell Games were slightly modified from the World Martial Arts Tournament. Fall outside the ring or get knocked out and you lose, but the no-killing rule was removed, so killing was another way to win a match. With those rules set, Goku entered the ring on the day of the tournament to face off against Perfect Cell. However, he ended up forfeiting halfway through, since he realized he could not defeat Cell at his current power level, proposing that Gohan instead had what it took to beat the villain. Thus, by his own volition, Goku lost yet another tournament, eventually experiencing another loss when he sacrificed himself to save the world from Cell's self-destruction. Following his death by self-destruction, see what we did there? Goku opted to remain dead, where he could train with King Kai and prevent himself from being a trouble magnet for Earth. But this didn't prevent Goku from competing in tournaments, since he later came back to compete at the 25th World Martial Arts Tournament. However, before this, Goku took part in the Otherworld Tournament, a competition between the greatest fighters of each quadrant of the universe, all of them representing a different Kai. Though this short saga is non-canon, we wanted to include it in the list of Goku's tournament losses, both since it was actually a pretty cool filler saga and because it's the only filler that features a tournament. So we think it deserves to be amongst the rest in this video. Regardless of canon arguments and the like, the Otherworld Tournament gave us some awesome fights, including Goku's final battle against Piccolo, which ended in both characters being disqualified because the Grand Kai said they hit the arena's ceiling. going on to make some weird logic loop about how the ceiling is the floor if you're upside down or some nonsense like that. Whatever the reasoning, Goku's disqualification resulted in yet another one of his tournament losses. Following the Otherworld Tournament saga was the World Tournament Saga, the story arc that led into the Majin Buu saga. In this saga, Gohan and the rest of the Z Fighters entered the 25th World Martial Arts Tournament to see who amongst them were the strongest. In fact, Goku returned to life for a day just to compete in the tournament. Yep, he won't come back for his family, but he'll show up for martial arts. Regardless, when Goku entered the tournament, he found it was much different from when he was younger. The area was much bigger, there was now a junior division, and since he had won, it appeared that only normal level martial artists had been entering, allowing the very weak Mr. Satan to become the reigning champ. For these reasons, it actually would have been interesting to see Goku compete in the tournament. But we were unfortunately denied this since the threat of Buu ended up interrupting the competition. Specifically, Goku flew off to stop Buu from being awakened and, like the other warriors who joined him, had to drop out of the tournament as a result. Thus, by forfeiting, Goku once again lost in a tournament. Well, at least he won the World Martial Arts Tournament once. The final World Martial Arts Tournament featured in Dragon Ball Z was the 28th, which took place during the Peaceful World Saga, the epilogue of DBZ set 10 years after Buu's defeat. This wasn't the final tournament featured in the franchise, but it comes next in order of air date. Nonetheless, this tournament once again resulted in Goku losing, though not out of lack of skill. See, Goku wasn't really in it to win it. He was just there to find Oob, the reincarnation of Kid Buu who had the potential to be as strong as the defeated villain. Goku entered the competition and asked Good Buu to rig the matches so he could face off against Oob, and upon testing his power, the two flew off so that Goku could train the world's next protector. Thus, because he gave up by the way of leaving the arena, Goku lost the World Martial Arts Tournament once more. Though it's not like he would have won anyway, since Mr. Satan rigs matches so that he could remain champion, keep himself rich enough to give Buu all the food he wants, and keep the identities of the world's true protectors a secret. Man, Goku can't catch a break in the world of martial arts tournaments. That does it for Dragon Ball Z, now onto the tournaments of Dragon Ball Super, starting with the Tournament of Destroyers from the Universe 6 Saga. This saga was the result of a bickering match between brothers Beerus and Champa, the latter of whom wanted to trade universes so he could have Earth's delicious cuisine. Thus, he challenged Beerus' best fighters to a tournament against the strongest warriors, resulting in the Tournament of Destroyers. In this tournament, Goku lost in two different matches, the first being against Frieza's Universe 6 counterpart, Frost. Frost was just as slippery and evil as his counterpart, pretending to be a hero of justice while selling planets to the highest bidder. As for his battle with Goku, he used an underhanded technique to take his opponent out, poisoning Goku with a hidden needle that the referee allowed him to use by way of it being a body modification and thus not a weapon. As a result, Goku was knocked out and down for the count, the match marking another tournament loss for him. However, he got the chance to fight again later because of the technicality of Frost using a modification to win. Thus, Goku eventually faced off against the Universe 6 assassin, Hit. Since Frost was a cheater and his evil nature was revealed, Goku was given a second chance to fight in the competition once he recovered from the poison. Thus, he stepped in to face Hit after Vegeta lost to him in an instant. Turns out, Hit has the power to jump forward in time, a power that Goku had figured out after taking quite the beating. However, even after learning exactly how Hit's powers work, Goku still had a hard time winning the match. In fact, because both combatants were so powerful, they pushed each other to get stronger, better, and more skilled throughout the fight. Thus, Hit's use of his time skip got better and allowed him to do more, and Goku had to push his Super Saiyan Blue form to a new level by combining it with the Kaioken technique and its various multiplier levels. The result was one of the coolest fights in Dragon Ball Super, one that Goku unfortunately lost. Well, actually, he forfeited, jumping out of the ring after a barrage of attacks exchanged between the two. Everyone was shocked until he collapsed from the strain of using two transformations at once, so it was a good thing he gave up, though it did earn him yet another tournament loss. The next tournament in the Dragon Ball timeline was the Zeno Expo, an exhibition match held before the Tournament of Power as a show of good faith between the universes. During this match, Goku, Gohan, and Majin Buu faced off against three members of Universe 9, Universe 7 winning the Expo. However, these three matches were not the only fights that took place. as Toppo of Universe 11 showed up to challenge Goku to a battle, blaming him for the risk of universe erasure since he prompted the Tournament of Power. Though unofficial, the resulting fight between Goku and Toppo was considered a bonus match of the Zeno Expo, one that Goku eventually lost. While Goku fought well, holding his own and possibly surpassing Toppo, the match was eventually halted by the gods. The reason for this was because Goku and Toppo were just a little too overzealous, going all out to the point where one of them might die, and if that happened, it would ruin the upcoming Tournament of Power. Thus, by way of the match being called off, Goku stacked up another tournament loss, even if their fight was not originally sanctioned to begin with. Luckily, both fighters would get the chance to face each other again later on. Last and certainly not least, we have the Tournament of Power. This battle royale between most of the universes in the Dragon Ball universe was put together to determine which of the universes with low mortal counts would be eliminated, and which one would remain intact. The stakes were incredibly high in this tournament, and Universe 7 was eventually deemed the victor of the tournament. However, it wasn't actually Goku that saved the day. Well, it was, but Goku technically wasn't the winner of the Tournament of Power. Thus, it stands as one of his tournament losses. The reason he was not the winner is because the last member of Universe 7 standing was actually Android 17. See, the final opponent that Universe 7 faced was Jiren, a character whose entire concept is that he is literally the strongest fighter who ever lived, with strength greater than that of a destroyer. Because of this strength, Goku was only able to wear him down through the use of Ultra Instinct. And when that eventually wore out, he and Frieza were forced to eliminate Jiren by taking him down with them, leaving 17 to take the victory. Goku may have been the reason for Universe 7's victory, but he still lost the Tournament of Power. Goku's loss against Ten Shinhan was, in our eyes, perhaps the most devastating he experienced. Would you agree or disagree? Which loss did you think was the most devastating? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to CBR for more Dragon Ball videos. Thanks for watching.